back to Animal Planet's Puppy Powwow Cast, where we attempt to record for 20 minutes without being interrupted by a dog. Let's see if we can make it happen. This is One Shot, One Quill. I happen to be Spencer, one of the gentlemen that regularly hosts this, never missed a week and never will. That's a promise to you, the viewer.
I'm Ben. Spencer, I've got bad news, which is that when you were doing that intro, I did go woof woof, so we have already been interrupted by a dog.
Well, that was us being interrupted by a DAWGG, which, Ben, you are not only my co-host, but my dog.
And quite frankly, Spencer, we've got another dog here with us.
Dog, you want to introduce yourself?
I don't know that I do. This is the strangest intro that I've heard. Hi, guys. It's your boy. I'm back again by popular demand. It's Evan.
Your popular demand.
It's fine.
You send me snail mail every single day asking to be on this show,
Ben,
and I'm like, Evan?
Ben, I talked to my agent. That's not good press for me. That's not good press.
Dearest Benjamin, I hope this letter finds you in good health. If only I could be on your monogram program once more.
Did you say monogram?
I did. I tried to think of a ye olde term, and I know radio wasn't the thing.
I think you were going for telegram, but now I want to imagine the monogrammed stuff that sorority girls have on their cars and their water bottles and stuff. That, but a podcast.
So am I the dumbass for monogramming One Shot, One Quill merch? I just got a bunch of monogrammed napkins over here.
If you couldn't tell already by the intro that so eloquently sums up what the show is. Mm-hmm. One Shot, One Quill is a show in which we take we take 3 user-suggested prompts. We take 1 user-suggested prompt, 2 user-suggested items, mission mash them together.
Our bullshit.
Brainstorm a tabletop RPG one-shot without any of the hard stuff. You gotta add the dungeons and the monsters and all that kind of stuff. We just give you the broad strokes. I mean, sometimes we add monsters. We give you the broad strokes of where you're going, the beginning, middle, and end, and the title, and how to punish your players for trying to be smartasses sometimes.
We are the condensed milk, and you are whatever you add to condensed milk to make it actual milk.
Keep going, guys. I'm almost done with my soup.
And, and anyway, at the end, we hope that you have a product, that we've made a product that you can use.
Wonderful. How's that soup going, Spencer?
Ben, where would you rate that on your overall interest?
I'd go probably 6 out of 10. Or are you talking about all of them? Because I've not listened to all of
them. This tracks. Ben, you want to roll me a D13 for a premise?
Yeah, let me just get my D13 out of my dice bag. A 6 for that premises.
A sentient and supercharged deck of illusions has been summoning actual monsters and causing a ruckus in town. Thank you, Andy, for suggesting that one.
It's a deck of illusions that's summoning real monsters?
So it would seem, or at least it is a sentient... Well, yes, no, definitely. That's explicit. Actual monsters and an actual ruckus.
All right.
Not an illusionary ruckus. Is that a word?
No.
Illusionary?
This is just a deck of ruckus.
I'd argue that all ruckuses are illusions, and I will not explore that idea any further.
That's all you get. Items? Moving on.
How many items are we rolling from there, Spencer?
We have 20 options this week, Ben.
That first one is going to be a 7.
7. A sword swallower donned in thick head-to-toe robes who's actually a mimic attempting to start a clean life.
Wait, that's an item?
Yeah, one particular suggester really played it fast and loose with nouns.
When we started the show, we were not as certain about what the show was going to be, and a particular contributor to the show is kind of a menace to society. Let's just say that.
Yeah, a public enemy.
Sure.
Yeah. Wanted man.
Or woman.
a terrorist to creativity.
Uh-huh.
So a sword swallower that is a mimic
That is trying to start a new life.
make a better life.
I mean, here's the thing. I love that.
It's an interesting idea.
It's one of the better abominations Jack has pitched to the show.
Oh, we're just name dropping
now. You're
now.
just name dropping him. As I have...
Oh, sorry, Jack Bin Laden.
Thank you.
But Ben, maybe we can complement it with an item. Maybe this sword swallower has an item. Give me another 20.
Yeah, we've got a 11. As
11.
always.
All right.
We've got to have 111 per show.
Goggles of Foresight. Once per long rest, you may peek into the future and see the result of an action you would make. You roll for that action and see the result before you make it. If you proceed with your action, you can carry over with that roll.
That's actually really cool. That's also, I'm pretty sure, just That's So Raven. I think that might be a copyrighted thing.
You cannot see the consequences of your actions past the initial roll, so if you got caught by, say, a guard you were duping by changing the future, you couldn't see your failed intimidation.
Yeah, That's So Raven. You can see 12 seconds in after the event, and then...
These goggles have large emblazoned ravens on them. I think that's what we have determined here. So, I've got an idea here. I think the mimic was summoned by this deck of illusions. And I think this is important because I think that the theme we should go with is that it's this faulty deck of illusions summoning real monsters, but there is in fact something wrong with every single one of these monsters.
Ooh.
I love this.
This
So
is
we got
fun.
a mimic who's trying to go vegan.
Yeah. He's like, you know what? I'll just eat items. I'll eat some swords.
Okay, so he's a sword swallower who's going out to the center of town. Look and behold! You, sir, I'll take your sword.
He's actually eating them.
This is the
Give me
mimic
my sword
equivalent of the vampire point where it's like, oh yeah, we're trying to just drink lamb's blood or whatever. This is just the mimic version of that. So there's some examples here. You can get a series of knights and guards. You can get a sexy succubus or a hunky incubus. You can get a busty cloud giant. Or you can get an entire red dragon, for example.
If I got, say, a succubus out of this, what if we have just pulled a demon out of this deck that is infernal in nature, alluringly attractive, if not horrifying at the same time, but also, goddamn, she has a headache and really just not into it.
I've got one here. We've got a night hag, but imagine that NIGHT is KNIGHT. This is a hag.
It's an Arthurian
in a
hag.
full suit of armor. That's like, I'm here to protect the innocent.
Ben, can I go ahead and what would the erectile dysfunction be on a fire giant? What would be wrong with the fire giant?
Fire giant comes out as a giant fire, but it's sentient, which we have done already, but we're looping back around.
And last one to both of you. If you pull a joker, it's you, the deck's owner.
Here we go. I've got the ending. You yourself were summoned by the deck of illusions.
Whoa, that's good.
So
That's good.
End the adventure, you've got to sacrifice yourself back into the deck.
I like this.
I've got another fun, dumb character concept. One of the things you can get out of a deck of illusions is a hill giant.
Mm-hmm.
Let's imagine for a second a gnome that looks like a hill giant. That's a molehill giant.
A mole.
Hold on, I gotta write that down. That's gonna be my next
giant,
character.
Making a hill giant out of a molehill giant. That's the funniest thing I've ever said.
Here's the thing. This is a great comedy, a hole that we've fallen into. I'm afraid we're not going to get out of it because I'm about to make an ass joke about the assassin if you pull the Jack of Diamonds. And I don't know that I will ever get past that point if I make it. So
here's a joke. Archmage, a wizard that can only summon arches.
He crab walks around too. He's a contortionist.
Oh God.
So you're summoned into this world Skyrim style, where you wake up I don't know who I am. I don't know where I came from, but this town is in absolute chaos. The town guard like grabs you and shakes. You gotta help us. As he gets, I don't know, bowled over by the night hag. Or the molehill giant. You have to kind of backwards assess the situation where all these bizarre things are coming out. You're going to trace this back to the supercharged deck of illusions, and you have to more or less hang on, hear me out. Maybe you defeat each creature, you get its card.
Yeah, it turns back into the card.
And you have to shuffle, basically, once you shuffle the whole deck,
I like that. Can I hit you with a quick modification of that?
Yeah.
You being brought out of the deck are not inherently evil, and neither is the first creature that came out of the deck that you met. The totally actually a sword swallower and not a mimic who's trying to start another life. What if you partner up with other, like, there's like, because there's some on here that is like a priest and 2 acolytes, and like the molehill giant, and less inherently like troublesome creatures. Knight and 4 guards. What if you partnered up with them and they could like act as sort of, we're playing Out of the Abyss right now. What if they were like kind of companions that you could partner up with? You know, at the end of it, when the whole twist comes out, you and your party like figure out how to turn yourself back into cards, and then that's that.
I like it.
Thoughts?
I think that is good, that some of them are not monsters. They're like the mimic, and they are trying to live a high life.
Right.
But so you can then recruit them on your little quest, but you have in the back of your head the knowledge that you are going to have to murder them at the end of it.
Right. I like that. Also, that seemed like kind of too much of a serious recommendation. So I'm just going to go ahead and say the ogre that comes out of the deck of illusions is obviously Shrek. It's obviously Shrek. You pull the ogre, it becomes Shrek.
It's your DM's best impression of Shrek.
Yes, exactly.
Here's another one. Beholder.
This is great because
Yep.
This is great because if at any point we get too serious, we can just go back and say it's a Knoll, but like Nick Knoll.
Nick
so
Nolte.
Great.
It's doing a stream play called 48 Hours, and it fucking sucks. A bugbear is just a very, very hairy beetle.
I think a lich is probably a lich that just really wants to garden.
There's an Etten, which is actually an Eaton, and oh boy, you cannot get him away from the buffet.
Okay, so we've got possible allyship. Maybe DM could make that like a moral choice thing where it's like, okay, do I kill them now or do I kill them later, or what else should we gift the DMs out there?
I think, because obviously some of these like Night Hag, that's going to be fairly obvious, but some of these, you got to find them. You got to be like, hey, you see anyone who's just a little bit off? Oh, and the other thing that I do want to mention here is the Mimic is another one of the Jokers.
I was going to say, that could be one. The other thing is, so you're obviously one of the Jokers. What if the end, because we said end boss, what if the other end boss is like...
Evan, you've just cracked the code. There's still a guy with the deck, and it's you.
Yes!
And you have to beat yourself, the real you.
You have to defeat the real you to put yourself back in the deck.
That one is like, I'm not going back in that deck.
No.
I did my time.
What if, so two options, and I think Ben went one way and Spencer, you went the other one. There's the holder of the deck. You have to beat the holder of the deck to get the deck so that you can put everything back into it. Is that person holding the deck the second Joker, which is what I initially thought? Or, Ben's brought up a good point, there's a real fucking person who pulled a Joker, and the flaw with that Joker is that they aren't evil.
Okay, I think the way this has to be played is you've got to give, as the DM, no indication of which is which. So the entire time the player is going through this, in the back of their mind, they're like, but am I the real one? And then, honestly, I think that's up to the DM, how cruel you want to be.
Right.
I, as a terrible person, think the player is obviously the card one. They kill the other one. They kill the version of them that's summoned by the deck. but it's not the version of them summoned by the deck, and they look down at the corpse of the person that they are, and they're like, oh,
I'm the card.
And then they have to kill themselves.
I think that's a pretty good a good end twist if they want to go with that.
Yeah.
Iron goalie. Is there anything there? Do we like that?
What did you say?
Iron goalie. He won't let you into this place. He's a major blocker.
I think it's just the Iron Giant in a soccer uniform.
People are trying to get into the goddamn smithy, and he's just fucking headbutting them away.
It's the shit from Castle in the Sky, but it's got just headbutting everything. It won't leave the goal area. Oh shit, what about the fucking Raven goggles?
Yeah, what do we do with those?
Oh, those are how you know that you're the card. You look through them and you're like, what'll happen if I kill this guy?
So we can so Raven our way into like using those for the investigation process and then maybe for the final twist.
Yeah, I think those would be a good way to...
You get them from the Beholder. Because the Beholder has to have glasses because it's got the Beholder scene.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I think those are the way, because now you've just opened up, as I brought up earlier, you're kind of just going around this town murdering anyone who seems a little bit weird. Mm-hmm. So I think the goggles of Foresight, you could use those. Excuse me. I think the goggles of Foresight, you could use those to whenever you are like, hey, is this guy weird or is this guy Deck of Illusions weird? You could put those on and be like, yo, goggles, what'll happen if I kill this fool? And then you either see a dead person or you see a dead person
card. Who had just a rough childhood.
I do think actually it would be a good idea to link that to, because you've got the Red Dragon, you've got the Beholder, you've got various giants, you've got the Night Hag. You could put those with any one of the very clearly, like, this is going to end up being a thing that you have to fight.
Let me throw this one out here. Druid.
Hey, that's my bit. That's my bit. Get out of my YouTube channel. Thank you for choosing One Shot, One Quill. Once again, we know you had a choice. It was this or Critical Role. Your mom lets you have 1 hour of podcast time each week, and you chose us, and we're so thankful for that. We will never take that for granted.
We're also so sorry.
You can catch us every single week. We come out on Tuesdays. Sometimes we really stretch the definition of Tuesday, but rate and review us on iTunes, please. It is a massive help to us, even this far into the podcast.
Thanks to those who have already done that.
Absolutely.
Thanks to those of you who have sent in suggestions. If you, as the listener, would like to send us something, you can find us on Twitter at DNDpod. That is DNDPOD. I should really learn the army alphabet
that
for
NATO
that part.
phonetic.
Yeah, our theme song is Alla Tavera del Gulier by Morgan the Bard. He has other songs, I'm sure.
Well, I'm feeling pretty warmed up. How about you guys?
Yeah. Is it too late to restart this one?
Not at all.
I mean, I'm looking at veteran, and there's one last bit that I was going to throw in there, which was the veteran obviously has PTSD, but I wasn't sure if that was funny enough.
Well, that's not really funny.
That's just sad.
Now I really want to restart this one.
I don't know. Should I stop recording? Are we done? Is this the end?
The Ogre Shrek. Have we made that joke yet?
No!